So a little while ago, we saw some album art for Alfredo 2, and we were all confused because this didn't look like Alfredo. This was ramen, but it's apparently the right album cover, and we are getting Alfredo 2 next week, July 25th. And as per usual, when we get an album announcement, we get a single to accompany it. So we got the first single titled 1995. This is very much a sequel to the original song on Alfredo 1, 1985, 10 years later. It's been a 5-year gap, so I don't know that there's too much to think about there. But actually, now that I think about it, there might be some more Michael Jordan references if you dig deep enough. Anyways, before I get to the song, as far as the cover and theming, it makes a little bit more sense that it's ramen when you watch the Alfredo movie that they put out. It's like 15 minutes long, but it's set in Japan and they're running a restaurant there. So, nothing too crazy. It's very loosely themed. I don't know that there's going to be much else that crosses over between the movie and the album, but it's still fun to have. It's kind of similar to when him and Madlib were doing Bandana and Pinata. They had a lot of music videos to accompany it, and the music videos didn't necessarily connect to the songs, or like the story that the music videos were making didn't connect to the songs or albums, but they did connect to each other, which was kind of fun. Now, the song. It has an interesting beginning, which is kind of slow, but for an intro, sure, whatever. But it definitely does pick up with the beat switch around the second verse. At first, I wasn't too into the guitar on the second verse, but as I listened to it a couple more times, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's cool. And it also kind of connects to 1985 in that way, and actually the entire Alfredo album where there's a lot of guitar and strings. The first verse is very much just a, hey, I'm back and I've been doing this. And he compares himself to Eamon Barksdale and Marlowe from The Wire, and just says that everyone else in the rap game now is just a Freddie Gibbs clone, which I thought was interesting because I personally haven't seen that, but whatever. He's probably noticing these things. Then we get to the chorus where it seems like he's starting to direct shots, kinda. So the chorus and the remaining verses actually could be at a particular person or just people in general. It mentions never walking again. I heard that nigga never walk right, bitch. Which to me made me immediately think of Benny the Butcher, because Benny was in crutches for a while, and they have beef. But again, could be anybody. Could literally be anybody. Because if you're going off of the movie that they put out, maybe they just break in kneecaps. What's the matter with you? Who knows? The second verse doesn't get too crazy at anyone specifically either, but he does say, "You a cartoon thug Nipsey, but I broke the mold," which I thought was funny, but it also does mostly touch on people, how people just lie in their raps. And the rest of the second verse almost feels like it's directed at women in his life. Gotta stop tricking on every ruby and amber rose. Yeah, I'm still in my prime. I seen these hoes get old. No shoulder left the crown, hold my shoulders cold. Nothing too crazy. He's just cold-hearted now, I guess. And then the third verse isn't necessarily directed at Benny, but it does seem to touch a little bit on it and rap beef in general right now. Freddie feels like there's a lot of rap beef happening, and sometimes it feels forced, or people are just doing it for attention, or it's corny. Man, this rap beef shit is corny now. I'd rather not be attached. He also very well could be talking about JPEG Mafia now that I think about it. But there's also some 50 Cent level pettiness that is referenced with Ticketmaster, we ain't giving passes, bow the front row tickets to your show and make that shit disastrous. Disastrous. Because 50 Cent had bought all those Ja Rule tickets that one time. Either way, like, it's not a crazy hard intro. It is an interesting intro. It's not my favorite song, but it does feel like it's going to lead into the rest of the album. It's going to sound good in context of the album, but we just got to wait and see. The album's coming out in a week, so that's cool. But with Alfredo 2 coming out in a week, this kind of raises questions and thoughts about rollouts recently. This rollout and many others in my opinion, have been mad short. At least this one has the movie to kind of accompany it and help get things moving, get people's attention, and just have engagement. But there's a lot of other albums that I feel just do surprise drops with what feels like no promo. You can do that, but not every artist is capable of doing well with it. So it's a little weird. We have people like Malice and Pusha T who basically have been promoting their album constantly, and then the album's out and they're still promoting it. I also know people personally like Gino and Ian Kelly. Like they've dropped albums and EPs and they're constantly promoting. So it's weird. It's a weird space to be in. I guess some of it is like, oh, we don't want to put money into it because music doesn't make as much money as it used to. But I don't know. Either way, I'm sure this project is going to do well and it'll have great merch. So it's going to sell. It's going to make money either way. But that's all I got for the track. These are just initial thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the song, what your expectations for the album are. And while you're down there, like and subscribe to see more rambling and content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.